right? So welcome everyone, and let's start with the training. Fine, I hope I have clarified all your questions over here. That will help you out. Okay, fine. And now I'll start off with Selenium training, and I'll start off with the very basics of Selenium. What is the history of Selenium, how it evolved over a period of time. Fine, and then I'll tell you what you need to actually learn. Okay, look, initially when I worked on this tool in 2006-7, right, I saw that there are three components. Initially when I first time worked on it, right, and there is something known as IDE, there is something known as RC, Selenium RC, and Selenium GRID. Okay, right, fine. If you talk about IDE, right, IDE is a tool which will only work on Mozilla, right, fine. It is primarily a record and run tool. What do you mean by record and run? If you go by any automation tool, Selenium, QTP, that's completely, you pick up any automation tool, it will always have the feature of record and run. Right, if you don't know what it is, don't worry, but I think most of the guys would be knowing that you go to any website, you record clicking on it and you run the same script. Okay, but record and run is not successful because these days all the websites are dynamic. If you talk about, say, a website like CNN.com, which is a news website, every day the complete website changes, right? The news changes every day, the complete website changes, so you cannot successfully record and run everything on CNN.com. Okay, right. Then IDE will generate no reports. Okay, you cannot expect IDE to generate reports. Fine. So these are some of the restrictions, that it only works on Mozilla, it generates no reports and all. Okay, so that's why people started using RC. Okay, the advantage of RC was that it could work on multiple browsers, Mozilla, IE, Chrome, right? Okay, Safari, right? It was not a record and script. You could actually make dynamic scripts on it, but the thing was, to make scripts, a tester has to learn any one of the languages like Java, C#, PHP, Python, and there are many other languages, Ruby, Perl. Okay, you can learn any one of these languages. Okay, right. It is not required that if the website is made in C#, then you have to use Selenium RC with C#. Okay, or if the website is made in Java, you have to use it with Java. It is not like that. You can use it with any language. Okay, now RC could generate reports. Reports were available, HTML reports and all. Okay, so because it's very dynamic, you can use the programming language, right? You can generate reports, you can do anything with it, right? And GRID is something which is for parallel execution. Okay, you make a central computer as main machine, hub machine. You connect multiple computers with it, and suppose we have got 1000 test cases. So you can distribute the test cases on the various nodes you have. These are known as nodes. Over here you can run some of the test cases, over here you can run some, over here you can run some. So the parallel execution makes your whole, you can say, the whole bunch of test cases, when you execute like this, it's very fast. Okay, they end up giving you result very fast, the script ends up very fast. Okay, so this is what GRID does. Fine. So this was earlier when Selenium was released. These were the components of Selenium. Okay, right. Basically, GRID used to be combined with Selenium RC. whatever code you write in RC, okay, whatever test cases you write in RC, you run them on grid parallelly. Alright, now grid had various drawbacks. Okay, I'll not talk about the drawbacks in detail, right, because most of you won't be able to understand them. Right? For example, if you have to uh, say for working with RC, there used to be a server. Okay, that server you used to start with command prompt. Sometimes the server never used to get started, and people used to face issues, and they used to end up logging off from their PC, then logging in again. So there were drawbacks with RC. Okay, if you have to pull up multiple elements from the page, it was a problem. Fine, I'll not go inside the depth. Okay, right. That's why people from ThoughtWorks and Google came together. Okay, and they made this tool known as WebDriver. Okay, RC is also known as Selenium 1.0. WebDriver is known as 2.0. WebDriver came up somewhere in August 2011. Okay, somewhere before that. Okay, right. So now it was not a migration. Don't think that RC was corrected and the code was migrated to WebDriver. No, it was not like that. WebDriver is a completely new tool. People who work on WebDriver, when they look at RC code, they are not at all able to understand it. Okay, right? WebDriver is completely different than RC. Don't think that both of them are related. And today, no RC is no longer used in the market. It's deprecated. People use WebDriver. Okay, the primary objective of the WebDriver is that, or rather, it has achieved is it has made things simpler. Although multiple browsers, dynamic scripts, multiple languages, reporting, everything is there in WebDriver as well, but it's made these things simpler and it's added lot of more features as well to Selenium. Right, IDE is still there in the market, the same, it's the record and run tool which works on Mozilla. Right, if you have a very small website, say 2 or 3 page website which is just having 5 to 10 test cases, simple ones, you can check them out on IDE. But if you have got 4,000, 5,000 test cases, you need to generate reports and all, and you want to run them in a very enterprise manner, you have to use WebDriver. Okay, I answer your questions, hold on. Right, and then comes GRID. Okay, now in the market something known as GRID 2 has come up. Again it runs the scripts parallelly. Okay, but you can use WebDriver 2.0 with it. Alright, fine. So in this course we'll be basically studying WebDriver and GRID. Okay, I'll tell you what is the objective of the course in some time. Right, let me answer few questions. Can you use IDE on IE? No, IDE will not work on Internet Explorer. You cannot use IDE on Internet Explorer. It's only made for Mozilla. Okay. Hold on. Right, now moving ahead. Right, moving ahead, what basically is Selenium? Okay, if you go to the official website of Selenium, seleniumhq.org, this is the, hold on, yeah, seleniumhq.org is the official website for Selenium. Fine. The first line says that Selenium automates browsers. It's a tool which can only be used for web-based applications, not window-based applications. Okay, right. There is no record run tool for IE like that. Okay, in Selenium nothing. If you want to work with IE, you have to work with WebDriver. Okay. Secondly, You should not concentrate on record run. Nobody in industry these days uses record run. Okay, record run is not feasible in a scenario like today, wherein the websites are very dynamic. All right, fine. Now, right. So look, most of you will find, okay, most of you will find the first session, first 2 or 3 sessions very simple. Okay, right. Uh, I have to start with the very basics. Okay, I have to start with the very basics and I have to go on to the advanced level. So I start off with the very simple stuff. Alright, now just give me 1 minute, guys. Hold on. I'm sorry. So there are a few questions being asked. Will you be showing up Selenium 1 examples? Look, I will not be teaching RC in the course. Nobody uses RC these days. If you still want to use RC or learn RC in the pre-recorded sessions, right, I have taken up Selenium RC. Right, you can learn from that one. Okay, right. So let's continue now. Let's continue forward. Okay. Now, if I talk about how Selenium works in real time, okay, how will we be using it and what is the objective of this course? Fine. Look, the objective of this course is to make up a framework. Alright. Now, what do you mean by making up a framework? As I told you, Selenium automates browsers. Right. Look, if I show you diagrammatically, fine, suppose these are your Selenium scripts. Okay, right, say this is your test case 1, this is your test case 2, this is your test case 3, right. So these are your Selenium scripts. In this blue box, I have my Selenium scripts. Now when you execute them in real time, right, you want that they should be executed in a certain order, one after another. Right. Apart from the execution, you would want that certain set of reports are generated, say XML based reports, HTML based reports, right? That what happened with each and every test case, pass, fail, and all everything, right? Along with that, you would want to take the screenshots of the errors, okay, store them somewhere. Then you would want to read your input data from some file, right, say Excel file, properties file, any type of file, right. Then you would want that certain set of logs are also generated. Log is like a file, right. If the script is running for 3 hours, in that file everything will be logged, that what happened at each and every instance or each and every second when the script was running. Right. Now Selenium will not give you the options to do the thing on the left hand side. Selenium is only there in the blue box. Okay. Right. So that's why we use a centralized controller in between. Okay. This controller will take the data from the Excel file, will call the test cases in a certain order, pass them the data, right. This will help you in generating logs, in generating reports, in generating screenshots and all. Okay, so the central part, the controller which I am talking about, is like a tool which will actually be collaborated with Selenium. Okay, and it will help you to actually build up a project or a framework. Fine. So this complete structure is known as a framework. Okay, right. So this centralized controller is, there are various tools available for this. Tools like JUnit is there. test ng is there. Then there are BDD tools like Cucumber, JBehave, Fitness. Okay, so there are various types of tools, right? I cannot cover everything in this class. Okay, primarily I'll be covering test ng in the class, right? Test ng is best to work with. Yeah, these tools are Java based. Okay, yes, these tools are Java based. Test ng is very famous with Selenium, right? Cucumber, oh sorry for the mistake, spelling mistake, right? These tools I have covered it in the videos as well, okay, in the pre-recorded sessions. Fine. So I hope you are getting the point now what you need to do. Okay, so the first thing which we will be starting off during the session is the knowledge of Java language. We will be studying Java first. Alright, I hope everybody has installed Java, right? JUnit also I have covered it in the videos. If you want to learn JUnit, okay, you can learn it. I have covered it in the videos. Although there is no difference. If you learn TestNG, learning JUnit is very simple. It's both are similar. Okay, right? Fine. So now the reason why I'm telling you that we'll be doing Selenium with TestNG because with TestNG grid is supported more in TestNG. Okay, TestNG supports parallel running of test cases in a very good manner. Better reports are there in TestNG, right? It's easy and it's very powerful tool. Most of the people are using Selenium with TestNG these days. Okay, right? Now let's move forward. I hope everybody has installed Java. Okay, you can go to the Java website, right? Or you can simply write over here. Go to Google and you can simply download Java. Go to the first link and you can download Java from here. Okay, if you have a 64-bit machine, then also install JDK. Please note, everybody must be having a 64-bit machine these days, I guess. Okay, install JDK as well. Fine, go to the first link and you can install JDK from this link. Okay, once you have installed it, right, the next thing is that you need to download Eclipse. Eclipse is the editor for Java language. Fine, Eclipse is the editor for Java language. You write the Java code inside Eclipse. Fine, you can download any version. Look, it doesn't matter for Selenium. You can download any version. Eclipse IDE for Java, EE developers, 32-bit, 64-bit. You can download anyone. Okay, right. Now moving further on, after you have downloaded Eclipse, right, like in my machine, I have kept it over here, right? Okay, just a minute. Alright, yeah, I have kept it over here. Fine, it comes as a bundle. Inside it you will have the exe file, right? You open the exe file and Eclipse will start up. Look, it's not an installable tool, it just comes as a bundle. You run the exe file, it will run, right? If you don't have JDK installed in a 64-bit machine, you might face an error. Okay, please install JDK, right? And this is the path of the workspace, right? Workspace path means the place where you will be storing all the code. Okay, whatever code we make, right, we'll be storing it at this location. Fine, so I'll make a new workspace for this batch. So whatever code I make, fine, I'll be storing it at that particular location. Fine. Now meanwhile Eclipse starts, what I assume is that for this course, the kind of, you can say, prerequisite, I assume that you have a basic understanding of programming. you know what for loop is, you know what if statement is, you know what an integer string is, you know what a function is, at least basic of programming which is there in any language, right? If you are a person who has never done programming, who's not at all aware, look, I would suggest that then don't join the class directly. Okay, get the access to the pre-recorded session, right? Get the access to the videos. In the videos I've taken Java in very detail, right? Everything, loops and all, everything. Watch the videos, right? And then join the class later on by paying the difference amount. Okay, that is the difference between the online training fee and the video fee. You pay that and join it. It will help you more, right? Okay, so this is Eclipse. It just started up. Fine. Okay, there are 3 sections in it. Okay, this is the leftmost section where we'll be storing the projects. In the central section we'll write the coding, and at the bottom section you see the output. Alright, fine. Now learning Java is very important. People try to skip it and later on they actually fall into trouble. This is the primary mistake which people do. Selenium, if you learn the object oriented principles, if you learn the object oriented principle concepts in Java, okay, it's very easy to work on Selenium. That is the primary mistake which people do. Okay, if I go to the Selenium website, and if you look at the download link over here, right, on this link you will find a link like this over here, Java doc. This is the Java documentation for Selenium. If you go to this documentation, then it's all technical. You will not be able to understand a single thing, right, if you don't know Java language, right? And especially in Java, object oriented principles, right? So what I'll do is, I'll first of all create a new project over here. Right click, new Java project, okay, and call that project as day 1. Fine. Okay, if you don't get that option, you can go to new other, and under Java you will get Java project. Alright, fine, call that project day 1 and finish it. So you will see this day 1 project coming up. Okay, look, I am starting off with the very basics. Initially 1 or 2 classes you might feel that you know these things, you might not know these things, right? I have to cater to everyone. When you right click on this project, you get lot of options. We'll be using these options in the class, right? One of the options, important options, is properties, the last one. Okay, if you go to this will show you the project properties. In the resource tab you will see the path where this project is lying. This path will be the same as the workspace path which we had set earlier while opening Eclipse. If I copy this path and go to that location, right, so this is the project. Inside it there are various files and folders, out of which in Eclipse you are only able to see the source folder. Okay, basically source is the important folder in which we store all the Java code, right? Dot project file means that it's a Eclipse project. Okay, if you delete this project file, this project will not open up in Eclipse, right? We'll talk about other files and folders as well as we proceed. Just hold on. Fine. Now inside the source folder I'll create a new class. Fine, and I'll name that class as say Java intro. Alright, and click on this box, public static void main, right? You'll have a code generated automatically. a file generated Java intro.java over here. Hold on, let me increase my font size. Okay, I hope you are able to see my screen clearly now. Right. So the code which is generated, which it says that public class Java intro. The name of the class, this is the class, the complete class starts from this bracket, ends here. The name of the class has to be same as name of the Java file. Right. This is the main function. The control comes up in for the first time inside this main function. If you have studied C language or any other language, the main function is also there in it. Okay, right. The command to print something in Java is system.out.println. Right. Okay, the shortcut is you type SYSO, then hit Control spacebar of your keyboard. Right. System.out.println. You can write hello everyone. Fine, and you can run this program. Right. You can run this program by clicking on this icon, run icon in Eclipse over here. Right. When you click on this, it executes the program and it prints hello everyone. You can also right click on this Java file and select the option run as Java application. It will run. Fine. Now I am assuming you know basic things. For example, in Java you have got integers int I equals to 100, string s equals to some string. Okay, you know these basic things. I am assuming that. Right, you know what a for loop is, what an if statement is. Right. Now let's move further. If you look at your source folder, you will be able to see the Java intro file over here as well. You can open it in Notepad. Fine. Apart from that, if you look at the bin folder, you will find the corresponding class file generated. You will not be able to understand this class file if you open it. You will not be able to understand in it. Okay, it's got something, a machine language code is there in it. Right. Okay, so this is a class file. Every Java file gets converted to a class file. Right, and class file is like an executable file. If I modify my Java file tomorrow, right, if I again write over here say string z equals to something, x equals something, and run this program, right, the class file will again be regenerated. See 8:48 AM, it again got regenerated. Alright, so every Java file is converted to a class file. If I create a new Java class file as well, say I write over here hello.java. Okay, just for a vague example sake, I am writing, and inside it I'll write over here system.out.println Selenium class. Right, and when I run this, it will print Selenium class, and over here you will see in the bin folder hello.class file generated. Now this class file in Java is platform independent. It's like an exe file which you can deploy on any operating system and run it. When you have to deploy the code on the server, if you have seen that, right, when developers they say that they are deploying the code, they are deploying these class files actually. If you have to deliver to the client, you deliver these class files to the client. Alright, fine. There is a question being asked that does Java file in Eclipse corresponding? Look, don't think about the test cases right now. Okay, you can have multiple test cases in single file, single test case. I'm not talking about a test case right now. Don't concentrate on that. I'm teaching you Java, right? So concentrate on Java first. Right. Now in a project, what happens is that you have got lot of class files, lot of Java files. There are not just two Java files. There are lot of Java files, right? So when you have to deliver these Java files to the client, or when you have to deliver these class files to the client, how do you do? Okay, you bundle them together in a single file, and that single file is known as a jar file. Many of you must have heard the name jar file. Inside a single jar file, many class files are present. Okay, and you can say jar file is like a zip file in which we have zipped all the classes. Okay, just for easier understanding. Fine, and then you can deliver this jar file to anyone. For example, if you look at the project, then you will see there is something known as GRE system library. This is Java which got installed on your system. When you download and install Java, this came up into your system. If you expand this, okay, this is basically Java. Java is nothing but a collection of various jar files. Whosoever made Java, he made lot of Java files and delivered us the class files corresponding to those Java files in form of these jar files. If you expand any jar file, you will see that it's got lot of class files in it. These are the class files made by Selenium, made by Java guys. Okay, and you can use these classes. For example, if I write over here system.out.println new date, fine. Okay, what is new over here? Okay, don't worry about that. Okay, but when I run this, it goes and prints the current system date, time, and all everything. Date is an internal class inside Java. It is present in one of these jar files. Alright, it is present in one of these jar files and you can use it. Okay, and you can use it. It will be like you are using the internal feature of Java. Right, internal feature is nothing but date.class file is present somewhere. You are just using that class file over here. Similar thing happens in Selenium. When you have to work with Selenium, right, you go to seleniumhq.org, click on the download link, and by clicking on this download link, you download the jar file for Selenium, the jar files for Selenium, and you include them in Eclipse. When you click on this download link, right, sorry, you have Selenium coming up into your PC. Hold on. Yeah, you will get this folder and these two jar files. Okay, the three things which I have highlighted, you will get these three things when you download the Selenium jars. Okay, hold on. I'll cut this and put it in a folder known as Selenium jars. You will get these two jars and a lib folder, and when you open that, you will have other jars for Selenium as well. Okay, right. So everything is inbuilt inside these jars for Selenium. Okay, all you need to do is that you need to include these jars in your project. Then your project will be Selenium enabled and you can work with Selenium. Right, you can work with the inbuilt classes of Selenium. Like I work with the date class which comes up with Java. Right, you can include it. It's very easy. You can right click on the day one, go to the properties. Okay, right. Any reason why the jar files are not in the lib folder? This is because Hold on. Look, these are the primary Selenium jar files. Okay, apart from that, there are many other supporting jar files which are there in the library folder. Okay, so this is the primary one. You don't need the sources one. You just need this one. This is the primary one. Okay, you can go to the Java build path option. Right, you right click on your project. You go to the properties and you go to the Java build path. Go to the libraries tab and click on the button add external jars, and you can add the Selenium jars. You can add this one and you can ignore this one. This is not required. Okay, I'll tell you later on what this is. And please remember to add all the jar files in the lib folder. I have recorded the session. You can look at the recorded session as well to how to add this. As soon as you add this, you'll get this reference library section on the left hand side, wherein inside it you will see all the jar files of Selenium. So now your project becomes Selenium enabled and you can work with it. You can work with Selenium. For example, if I write over here just new Firefox Driver, don't worry what Firefox Driver is, what new is, I'll talk about it. Right, I'll talk about it. I'm just writing few things which are not understandable to many people right now. But when I write like this, Firefox Driver is a class inside Selenium jars. Inside one of these jars it is present. I'm just using it, and when I use it and I run it, you will see a new Firefox browser will open up. Many of you must have done this, right? Okay, so basically what I mean to say is that everything is inbuilt. You just need to use it. Fine, see, Firefox browser has opened. Fine, so everything is inbuilt. You need to download the jar files. Okay, and that's it. Okay, the question being asked is some text appears in blue and bold blue, some in red. Any significance? Okay, I'll talk about that. These are the predefined keywords in Java. Whatever is the predefined keywords, those are in red. Okay, don't worry about these blue things. Okay, basically you should know whatever red is that these are the predefined words in Java language. Yes, if you want to execute the Java file, you should have the main function inside it. If you want to run this, the control comes up for the first time in the main function. Okay, right? Fine. I'll stop the recording. Anybody having any questions regarding class, regarding Selenium, regarding anything? If you have any questions, look, today was the very basic class. Okay, today was the very basic class. Fine. I'll stop the recording.